All right, my room is clean. I'm going to move on. So while my room was being clean, I went ahead and I smoothed out this lid, the bottom and the top, and then I went and I added the lid on this eye. There are a bunch of bins that look like this with different tools in them. One of the tools, if you're having a hard time kind of blending that clay down, like this, and again, you're only grabbing from the top and kind of putting it down, trying to making it look like it's part of the base of the face. If you're having a hard time using your fingers, if your fingers are too big or your pencil's kind of awkward, you can find one of the tools there that is kind of rounded at the edge. And so I'll just show you. I used my finger and this tool up here, but you can go ahead and this is how I'm kind of swooping down in this kind of direction. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of clay and I'm just kind of, again, pulling the clay just to kind of get it so it's like a slide, just sliding the clay down and onto so it looks like it's all part of the base. And then I might go back in with my pinky finger and I might just smooth those little kind of edges out so that it looks a little bit more rounded. Like that. Now we're ready for the nose, and so I'm going to, actually I'm going to use this one. This is a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use some extra clay, and I'm going to shape my nose. Now your nose, and again, I'm just doing kind of a straight on. If you have angry eyes, you might want to angle them, go so they angle towards the middle. If you're surprised eyes, you might want to make them look like they're being surprised. Maybe I'll do a surprised mouth at the bottom. So I want to think about the size of my nose, and then this might be a little too big, so I might use a tool in my bin to cut that off. Your nose is going to be somewhat triangular, and it doesn't have to be triangular. I'm going to make mine triangular, certainly. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to kind of press down. I don't even know if you can see that in the video. Here we go. So I'm just kind of pinching here to kind of make the top of the nose, and then I'm kind of pressing down here to make kind of like a triangle. Now here's a trick. If I take this triangle and I want to place my nose on the clay like this, I need to know where I need to score, because this is a piece where I'm not going to be blending it so much as I'm going to be scoring it. So I'm going to take my pencil, my clay pencil, and I'm just going to draw around the nose, kind of outline. I'm going to pick that up. Now I know that obviously this is going to get scored like this. And again, like a complex tic-tac-toe board, I'm going multiple ways. Kind of looks a little bit like a bird's nest. And then I'm going to score inside. Notice again that I'm not digging into the clay. It's just light. You don't want to make it so light that it doesn't make really an impact. Okay, you got to put a little pressure in there so that you are kind of digging the clay up a little bit. But again, it's not deep. You don't want it to be too deep. And while my room was being cleaned, I found a paintbrush in my tool bin. So I'm going to take a paintbrush. I'm just going to kind of wet this down enough to kind of act like glue, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to press it on. Press it in and down. Now if you do want to smooth down, again, I would suggest using your fingers or just a tool to kind of blend this in. Doesn't have to be a lot. So there we have our nose. Now if you want to create nostrils, students tend to really like this part. Well, actually, let's do the mouth first. So let's add the mouth here. So let's say I want kind of like an open mouth. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the eyes. I'm going to take clay and I'm going to make, oops, I just smushed the nose. Be careful when you're working that you don't accidentally hit your clay face, because you'll do exactly what I did. and you might damage it and have to go back and do some repair. So this, I'm going to do I'm going to roll a coil. These are going to be my lips. Keep your coils, keep everything you attach to your mask fairly thick. The thinner your mask, the thinner the pieces you add to your mask, the higher the probability for breakage. The skinnier, so I'll just show you this because I think we've discussed this before, but I'll just review. If you do something super skinny like this, it's going to dry out really quickly. It won't hold on. It's more likely to break. It's going to fall off. It'll dry out faster than, let's say, something that's a little bit thicker, which would hold the moisture a little bit better. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create, I'm going to say, kind of the bow of the mouth. The bow is like that little point you have on your upper lip. That's called the bow. And then, oh, but wait a minute, I should show you this. If you want to add teeth, if you're planning on adding teeth, most kids really like to add teeth. I'm going to save that for just a minute. I'm going to take a little bit of clay and I'm going to add some little teeth. Now this is the one part where if you want to add teeth, I would probably use this little guy, little paper clip, because he's really tiny. Figure out where your teeth are going to go. Tiny bit of water, and then press down. So there's one tooth. I'm just going to add a couple in here. I'm just going to toss them in. So I'm not really thinking about where this is going. I'm just kind of showing you some tips, some tricks. Let's do 3 teeth. We'll do, I don't know. Should he be bucktooth? Maybe he's bucktooth. We're just going to do 2. We'll separate those. This is going to be a weird looking guy. But anyway, you get the idea. So if you want to add teeth, you can add teeth. Here's the bow. The reason I tell you to add teeth first is because your teeth are behind your lips. They're not in front of your lips. So we need to make sure that we're building from the back forward. So there's, and I can straighten those out later. So here's the bow of my mouth. And then I can go wrap this around, figure out where I want my mouth to kind of end. And so my mouth could be like, maybe my mouth is kind of yelling. It's like, what? What's happening? Okay, now because I noticed I didn't score, I didn't slip, that's because I'm going to go back in and I am going to just take this and I'm going to blend this on the outside. And notice I'm not changing the coil really. I'm not making the coil any skinnier by much at all. I'm just going in, and hopefully you can see this. I'm just grabbing that little bit of clay kind of on the side and kind of blending it. And then I can go back in with my finger and just smooth that out. By doing this, I'm attaching the coil to the base. If you don't smooth out like that, then you do have to score and slip. And I'm just going to go in here. I'm going to use the point to kind of grab some clay to bring it down. And I might need a slightly skinnier tool. Let's see if I can find one here. It might be a little bit easier to get in there. Or my pencil, because it's rounded. And then I would still need to do kind of the same thing in here and just be trying to kind of bring some of that clay down. Notice it's not a lot. Just grabbing a little bit of clay from the sides. So there's my mouth. And again, you can go in with your fingers and you can blend and smooth. Now again, notice that I didn't press this coil down so it's not flat against my my clay. We really want our features to be 3-dimensional. We want them to stand out. Some people says, well, Mrs. D, what if I want to add a tongue? Okay, so here's, maybe I decide, I'm going to go in. So there's maybe my tongue. I'm going to go and I'm going to score. I'm going to use this. I'm going to score here. And again, if my tongue is sticking out, then the tongue would be added later. If I want the tongue inside my mouth, I would add it before I added my lips. I'm going to go ahead and score in through here. And then I'm going to attach. So really this video is, this particular video is all about adding facial features and learning how to score and slip the clay and build up. Now if my tongue is long and I want it to touch, this is longer, so it has more of an opportunity to break off. So I probably will score underneath and score wherever I think the tongue is going to hit the mask. I'll take a tiny little bit of water and then I'm going to press down. By doing that, that's going to help make sure that the tongue does not come off and that it's going to stay. I can then go in and I can now make the details. Okay? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do cheeks and add a little bit more detail to the face. So now is your opportunity to get your facial features on your face.